You don't belong to her. Kayla laughed contemptuously, her fingers tapping on the coffee table, each tap seeming to push at my limits. I put down the knife, my eyes locked onto her. Every step she took, every word she spoke, revealed her weakness. And I was ready to make her feel the pain she had sown. Chloe was in the kitchen, washing dishes, the sound of water crisp and clear, mingling with the smell of oil and the lingering scent of red wine. She had her back to us, humming a soft melody, looking relaxed and natural, as if unaware of the danger lurking in the house. The warmth in the air clashed sharply with the pressure Kayla brought, like a silent psychological battle. What do you mean? I asked softly, keeping my eyes fixed on her. My voice was low, carrying a hint of warning. Kayla raised an eyebrow and slowly stepped closer, each step testing my boundaries. She stopped by the sofa, leaning against the cushions, legs crossed, fingers tapping the table. Do you really think you deserve to be with Chloe? She deserves someone better. Chloe paused her chores and frowned. Kayla, what are you talking about? She shrugged slightly, a flash of a smile in her eyes. She doesn't see your true value. You know why? You're always too serious, always making her feel safe. But me. I see the other side of you. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. Kayla, this is my home, not a place for your provocations. Kayla's gaze swept across the room, as if evaluating my reaction. Your home? You think home is about safety? No, it's also a battlefield. Both you and she are too naive. Chloe stepped in, placing her hand lightly on my shoulder. You should leave. Kayla smirked slightly, showing disdain. Fine, leave or don't, it's up to you. But remember, I won't give up. Once the door closed, I leaned against it, heart racing, palms sweating. Chloe sighed softly. How could she be like this? I've always treated her like a little sister. I looked at her, taking a deep breath. This is just the beginning. She was never an ordinary friend. In the following days, Kayla came often, each time dressed differently, low-cut shirts, short skirts, high heels. Every move she made felt like a test. Sitting on the sofa, she would touch my shoulder or arm, occasionally leaning too close, whispering, "You're always so cute." I felt a mix of pressure and guilt, as if being drawn into an invisible psychological whirlpool. Every time she approached, I had to control my emotions. Any slip could be interpreted as a response. Chloe seemed completely unaware. She continued cooking, washing dishes, tidying up, occasionally glancing at me with concern. Are you okay? I nodded, though inside I knew that Kayla's presence was like a snake, ready to strike at any moment. She wasn't just Chloe's friend, her behavior hid jealousy and a desire to control. I had to remain calm. That night, lying in bed, I reflected on the past and gradually calmed myself. Every provocation, every approach from Kayla reminded me that if I didn't act, I would only become more passive. I began to plan, quietly observing her, recording every behavior, accumulating strength for the revenge I intended to take. A few days later, Kayla visited again. This time, she was dressed exquisitely, a light pink blouse highlighting her fair skin, the hem of her skirt brushing the floor, perfume filling the living room. She leaned against the sofa, legs crossed, fingers tapping the table, eyes saying, "You can't ignore me." I stood calmly at the door, observing every move. She asked softly, "Are you angry?" "Not angry, just observing," I replied steadily. She raised an eyebrow, observing. "You think you can control anything? You've been hiding all this time." I smiled inwardly. Yes, I had been accumulating strength, waiting for the right moment. Past humiliations had taught me that patience and strategy are more powerful than impulsiveness. I remembered high school, when I was publicly humiliated by a teacher in class, classmates laughing. I tried to explain, but no one listened. That shame burned into me, showing me the helplessness of weakness. In college, the girl I had a crush on publicly belittled me in front of friends. "You don't understand romance, you don't understand life." Friends laughed, I was isolated, the helplessness washed over my self-esteem like cold water. At work, I was once publicly criticized by my boss for a small mistake, not entirely my fault. Colleagues whispered, smirked behind my back. I realized, patience without power only invites more humiliation. And Kayla, she seemed like the continuation of these humiliations. Her provocations brought back all those moments of helplessness, but this time, I had the chance to take control. I began collecting evidence. The times and behaviors of her late-night visits. Flirtatious messages and photos. Every attempt she made to drive a wedge between Chloe and me. Traces of her sabotaging Chloe's past relationships. I organized all the information on my computer. Each record was like a cold needle piercing her manipulative heart, making me feel an invisible power building inside me. Weeks later, Kayla appeared again, wearing a low-cut dress, perfume even stronger, leaning on the sofa, legs crossed, fingers tapping the table. She whispered, "Are you angry?" I looked at her calmly, not angry, just observing. She raised an eyebrow, observing. "You think you can control anything? You've been hiding all this time." I smiled faintly, secretly calculating. She was overconfident, too careless. Every provocation revealed a flaw. My revenge plan had already taken shape in my mind, calm, gradual, precise. "You think you can escape all of this?" I placed the printed chat records and photos on the coffee table, staring at Kayla calmly. She froze, eyes flickering with unease. Chloe stood beside me, the light casting her face like moonlight on a winter night. What do you mean?" Kayla stammered. "Look at these," I said flatly. Chloe quickly flipped through them. Every page documented Kayla's provocations, late-night visits, flirtatious photos, and her attempts to sabotage Chloe's past relationships. Kayla tried to reach for them, but I blocked her. "Don't touch." Her face turned pale. This can't be. "You wouldn't." I shook my head. "Every piece of information, every photo, is evidence you left yourself. The manipulation you've done is now reflected back at you." Kayla stepped back, her voice breaking. I just wanted you." I advanced slowly. "You wanted me? At the cost of Chloe and her trust? Now, you have to face the consequences of what you've sown." She began to cry, body trembling. I was just jealous. Chloe's eyes were ice. "You ruined my life, sabotaged my relationship. I've seen everything." Kayla fell to her knees, shaking. "Please. I won't, don't destroy me." I pushed the final record toward her. "These are the traces you left yourself. You cannot escape." She clutched the carpet, voice low and trembling. "Please, give me a chance." "I swear I won't." I looked at her calmly. "The chance is gone. What you feel now, helplessness, is the same feeling you imposed on others." Kayla cried and trembled, trying to use words for sympathy, but it was useless. I tidied the documents and handed them to Chloe. "Keep these. She can never deny them." Kayla slumped on the sofa, eyes vacant, weakly raising her head. I lost." Chloe leaned against my shoulder, sighing softly. "It's finally over." I held her hand. Outside, the neon lights flickered, and the air was free from Kayla's shadow. That night, we sat on the sofa, hands tightly clasped. Calm and peace had finally returned. Kayla's control could no longer invade our lives.